Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killerrodan. So, okay, for today's video is that I'm gonna be talking about some kind of a weird shit, not in a good way, but weird nonetheless. Whenever I talk about religion on this channel, you can bet your ass it's gonna get weird. Of course, this isn't to talk about our religious people, because there's some decent folks out there. But yeah, I do occasionally talk about the more adult anime type stuff. I don't always do it, but I do talk about this kind of stuff on this channel. Personally speaking, it doesn't bother me because, as far as I'm concerned, there isn't just one way to tell a story. You can tell a story in various type of ways. It does not have to be restricted to one specific method. I've done this before. It becomes this kind of a thing. I don't mind it. Sure. I mean, it might be pornographic, sure, but still, I don't think storytelling has to be restrictive to one specific way, is what I'm talking about. As long as the characters are well done, as long as there's essential conflict is well executed, even if you want to do like a slice of life kind of thing, I'm all for it. Ultimately, okay, yes, I'm not really picking a genre, but it becomes this kind of a thing. But yes, if there's a good story, it's well written dialogue, if you can make the chemistry between two or more characters seem believable to whatever extent you want to do, sure, I'm all for it. Well, I mean, why not? Sure. Anyway, I'm all for this kind of thing. I've seen it more than once, kind of a thing. I'm not ashamed to admit it. And I mean, it might be content aimed for adults, but that just goes to show you that just because it's animated, it doesn't mean it has to be for the entire family, which I think would be weird if you're going to assume that animation should be strictly just for a specific age group of people. Or can it be just for everybody? It just depends on what you're aiming for at the end of the day. Anyway, but of course, take it up to the Jehovah's Witnesses, of course, to ruin everything. Just to make it weird. If anybody's being weird here, it's them. Oh boy, I know Air Force and I had a really bad history with these people, and it's for good reason. It's them, really, and I would continue to criticize them because, as far as I'm concerned, they're a bunch of bastards. They're really control freaks and whatnot, which they are. They're caught. You can't change my mind. Anyway, but let's go into college, shall we? Yeah, let's talk about college because, I don't know, none of this makes sense. Yeah, being something pornographic to college. I don't know why you would, but according to them, something that's pornographic goes to college. This is a very odd thing to say aside from the obvious. But another thing, you're not going to know this unless you know more stuff about Jehovah's Witnesses. This seems kind of a redundant thing anyway, because of the fact that it seems kind of odd anyway, because the Jehovah's Witnesses church don't want you to go to college. They don't want its members to be well educated, because if you're well educated, you will poke holes in their stories. Yeah, when I'm referring to what they believe in. But anyway, yeah, because apparently there was a report in the San Francisco Chronicle on November 1st of 1993 that highlights a controversial class that offered at San Francisco State University. It is conducted by this professor, according to this article, on the subject on human sexuality. What class it is, if you're looking for a hot 3 critics to this kind of a thing, I guess, according to the article. But the report goes on to say, apparently, masturbation, being a transvestite, male homosexuality, being a lesbian, bestiality, and BDSM, among other things. So, in other words, according to these people, is that if you're into porn, you're into bestiality. And also the implication is that if you watch porn, it would somehow turn you into a lesbian, and it would somehow turn you a gay male, and then you can be dressing as a woman, because transvestites? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, something I've said multitude of different times before. You don't turn gay. It's just like how you don't turn Mexican, you don't turn Cuban, you don't turn Japanese, you don't turn Chinese, you don't turn Vietnamese, yada yada yada. You are or you're not. Watching this kind of a thing, watching this kind of content, does not turn you gay. And another thing, you can be straight and be a transvestite. You can be straight and be a drag queen. You can be straight and be a drag king. It is possible. It's not just limited to gay people. And the whole thing with bestiality, and if anybody is interested in bestiality, that's more of a you problem. That has nothing to do with adult content. All this article is trying to do is make it seem bad if you like to watch porn. And of course, it's also very homophobic, but that aside, watching porn alone isn't in itself a bad thing at all. So I don't get it. So if I want to watch some anime type stuff that's geared towards the more mature audiences, I'm going to, and I've done it on a multitude of different times before. That didn't turn me into a kind of way. People might think I'm a fucking pervert, maybe, but I don't care. It's my channel. I do whatever the hell I want on here. So it's just something that I just thought it seems really nonsensical and whatnot. It just seems like these kinds somehow the practice of these things that Jehovah's Witnesses might dictate the results in this kind of a thing. Uh, Doing these kinds of things would somehow make you unclean. And of course, the article would use some kind of verse from their Bible as a way to support what they're trying to say here. But again, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever at all. Trying to break down stereotypes and showing that these people are like everyone else. Like, okay, sure. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with being a lesbian and whatnot. And of course, these people are trying to act as if you are part of the LGBT plus community, you're somehow going to have sex with animals. That doesn't make any sense. What's the connection here? I don't get it. Anyway, that'll be it, folks. I just wanted to do a short video here. So, as always, thanks for watching. Take care. Till next time. See you.